coming up.
Ben, you're not answering that question either. I just ask you, do you agree with me that the left have no logic?
Charlatans like you who have made, in the last several minutes, you keep saying they're just questions. They're not questions. You're making assertions of fact, and you're saying, oh, illegal immigrants are doing all this harm to black people. Why don't
you're running like a beta male. Are you a beta male? Beta! Beta male!
Good enough to believe that the phrase beta male means anything.
You are a beta male. I'm surprised not surprised you're a leftist. If you were not a beta male, you wouldn't be a leftist.
Yeah, because a sign of being secure in your masculinity.
No, you're beta.
And say, oh, I'm not a beta male. I'm not a beta male. You're a beta male.
Beta.
Ridiculous, Jesse.
Beta.
The fact that you feel to resort to this nonsense.
Let me ask you, Ben,
shows that you know that you don't have a leg to stand on in the argument.
Ben.
If you had an argument, you'd make it. You don't have an argument for your views.
Ben.
So instead of making it, you rely on nonsensical taunts about who's a male and try to disguise your arguments as questions. It's pathetic.
Ben, where does logic come from?
Logic is about how the premise.
I didn't ask what it's about. I asked where does it come from?
I have no idea what you even mean by that.
I didn't think so.
Golly, I've never seen such a very childish professor. Jesse was interviewing a socialist professor, a leftist, and this man was just avoiding all the questions, all over the place. It wasn't direct at all. It was very frustrating to watch, but also it was very entertaining. Trust me, when you watch any of Jesse Lee's videos, they're always very, very entertaining. If you've not subscribed to this channel yet, what are you waiting for? Hit the subscribe button and turn on the notification bell so whenever I drop a new video, you will always be the first to get it. So without wasting too much time, let's jump into this video.
I have with me Ben Burgess. He's here. He is a professor of philosophy at Rutgers and is the author of Give Them an Argument. Logic for the Left. This is where he's urging the leftists to be more persuasive and logical. Ben, welcome to the show. Thanks for coming on.
Thanks for having me on.
And so are you a liberal?
I'm a leftist. I wouldn't call myself a liberal, but I'm a socialist. I'm a Bernie Sanders supporter.
Hey, what's the difference between a socialist, a liberal and a leftist?
Well, I think that liberals, think about like the difference between the proposals that Elizabeth Warren and Bernie Sanders put out recently about student loans, that Warren wants to means test it, so only some student loans are forgiven. It's only up to $50,000, etc. Whereas Sanders wants a universal program, and I think also, I think liberals want to more tinker with what we've got right now, and socialists want to make more dramatic changes.
And so you are a socialist.
Yeah, absolutely.
And how and why did you become? Have you always been a socialist?
I've been a socialist for a long time. I think that the economic system that we've got right now isn't working for most people. You see evidence of that all over the place. We have the richest country in the world. Millions of people, still don't have health care or have health care they can't afford to use. We have
So is the system we have now working for you?
Irrelevant.
How is that irrelevant?
It's totally irrelevant because because whether or not it works for me has nothing to do with whether it's unjust. I could be I could be wealthy and successful much more than I am, and it would still remain true that if there were millions of people in the richest country in the world who were homeless, millions of people who didn't have health care, et cetera, that system was unjust.
What I'm suggesting is that you said this system is working for you. And so rather than trying to turn these people into little socialists so that you can use them for your own personal gain, why not teach them?
Wait a second. How is that my personal gain?
Because the whole purpose of socialism is to use people for your own personal gain, to gain power and wealth.
No, it isn't.
Rather than using them, setting them up to use them, why not teach them what you know?
So hold on. I'm what you're saying doesn't make the slightest bit of sense.
Are you for reparations? The Democrats are pushing for reparation for black people. Are you for reparation for black people?
Sounds good to me. I guess you're against it. Why?
Are you for it?
I'm not against reparations. I understand you're against them, though. Can you tell me why?
I'm black and slow, so I need a yes or no first. Are you for reparation for black people?
Sure, let's say yes, Jesse.
No. Let's don't do a yes. Let's say yes. I want to know, Ben Burgess, are you for reparation for black people?
I think you'll find that sometimes issues are too complicated for a one-syllable answer. I gave you the sentence. If you don't like that, let's just simplify it to yes.
No, that's not an answer, Burgess.
What I'm telling you
Ben Burgess, are you for reparations?
It's not a simple yes or no.
Why not? Why isn't that a simple yes or no question?
Because you could agree that reparations would be justified, but think that strategically, in terms of what you're going to get the best winning political coalition right now, another strategy might be better. Now, if what you mean is, do I think that reparations...
Ben, I'm quite clear what I mean. I ask, are you, Ben Burgess, in favor of reparations for black people? Yes or no?
Do I think that reparations would be justified?
That's not my question.
Well, if that's what you mean, the answer is yes.
That's not my question. That's not what I mean.
Do I think the best strategy for narrowing the well-racial...
That's not my question.
Now, that's going to get the best winning coalition is reparations right now, this minute.
How are you a professor of philosophy and you can't even answer simple questions?
Because your simple question is misleading. It's a false dilemma. Either you know what you're saying is a logical fallacy. You're saying that
I haven't said anything. It was a question. Are you for reparation for black people?
You don't think something could be a loaded, misleading question? You think those are impossible? Those never exist?
Right. It doesn't. To a liar, to a deceiver, it's hard for them because they don't want to answer the truth.
Or for somebody who's capable of thinking more complicated thoughts than, yes, I totally agree with this, or no, I totally disagree with this. Sometimes the truth is complicated.
Are you an honest man, Ben?
Yes, I am. I don't believe you are.
So do you agree with me that the left have no logic?
What I agree with, what I say in the book, is that people on the left should care more about...
Ben, you're not answering that question either. I just ask you, do you agree with me that the left have no logic?
Charlatans like you who have made, in the last several minutes, you keep saying they're just questions. They're not questions. You're making assertions of fact, and you're saying, illegal immigrants are doing all this harm to black people. Why don't...
Man, you're running like a beta male. Are you a beta male? Beta! Beta male!
Good enough to believe that the phrase beta male means anything.
You are a beta male. I'm surprised not surprised you're a leftist. If you were not a beta male, you wouldn't be a leftist.
Yeah, because a sign of being secure in your masculinity.
No, you're beta.
And say, I'm not a beta male. I'm not a beta male. You're a beta male.
Beta.
Ridiculous, Jesse.
Beta.
The fact that you feel to resort to this nonsense.
Let me ask you, Ben,
shows that you know that you don't have a leg to stand on in the argument.
Ben,
if you had an argument, you'd make it. You don't have an argument for your views.
Ben,
so making it, you rely on nonsensical taunts about who's a male and try to disguise your arguments as questions. It's pathetic.
Ben, where does logic come from?
Logic is about how the premise...
I didn't ask what it's about. I asked where does it come from?
I have no idea what you even mean by that.
I didn't think so. Ben, do you support abortion? You in favor of abortion?
I don't believe that the state should force anybody to remain
I didn't
pregnant.
ask that.
You
I
don't-
didn't ask that. Do you support abortion?
I support abortion rights.
Do you support abortion, Ben?
Do you mean that I think everybody is pregnant? Like, what do you mean support abortion? I support.
Are
a
you
right to
for?
abortion.
Are
I think
you?
abortion should be legal. Is that what you're asking?
You think abortion should be? Do you support abortion personally? Are you in support of abortion?
Do I think that women should?
That's
have a right
not. What's wrong with you?
Because you're being very unclear, Jesse.
I asked, do you
saying,
do
do I think
you
abortion- do I
support
think-
abortion? How is
I
that
think
unclear?
Okay. Well, I said I support abortion rights, but you said that's not what you mean. Do I think abortion is wrong? No, I don't. I think that people should be able to make whatever decision they want about their own body.
Ben,
Partial abortion, but that's not how it works, Jesse.
Ben, you know who Pete Buttcheek is? You know, he's running for president out of Indiana.
I know who you're referring to.
He is for abortion at the 9th month. Do you agree with him?
I don't think that's a fair characterization of what he says.
Do you agree with him?
I don't. Sure. Let's say. Look, you are distorting beyond recognition.
All I'm doing is asking questions, and you're running.
No, but your questions are based on false factual claims. You're saying he supports this thing that he doesn't support. Do I agree with him? I agree with what he actually says. I don't agree with how you characterize it.
In New York, they passed a bill that if a woman is having an abortion at the 9th month and the baby should come out alive, you can let the baby down the medical table. You support that?
I don't think that's an accurate characterization of the law in New York.
You're not an honest man, Ben. What's wrong with you?
I don't think
you're worse than your wife.
I think that you have made a number of assertions on subjects ranging from abortion to illegal aliens that are provably false. And you make these assertions.
So let me ask this.
Lead up to a question.
All I have done is ask. All I have done is ask you questions.
That is not all you're doing.
And you have dodged every question.
I have not dodged a single question. I have in every case explained.
Now you lied about that.
Is false. You have every time you ask a question, you make a bunch of false assertions. You say this is going on. Do you care about that? It's not dodging the question to say it is not going on. That you are just lying about that.
Ben, I have only asked you questions, and you have dodged every question, and now you're lying about dodging the questions.
No, you are.
How do you live with yourself?